Hiya Steve, lovely to meet up with you as always during the week and do some further work on your game. There were basically 4 key elements or pieces that we worked on in regards to this particular session, all relating to different areas in the swing really. What we noticed first of all, top left, was that during the backswing you were very much sort of keeping this left knee moving, almost moving towards the target at one point there. So the left knee was flexing, but not really downwards and inwards, which I would prefer. And what would then happen is, as you got to the top, or as you approach the top, the right hip is slightly higher than the left. The pelvis is not being extended. The thoracic cannot possibly extend enough from there. So consequently, at the top of the backswing, there's a move off the ball and upwards. And we're talking, you can see the left knee there starts to relieve the pressure from the lead foot, moving it more towards the centre of the stance. So what we talked about was keeping the pressure on the lead foot and how we would use the left knee to help with that. The other thing we noticed was down the line we were levelling out the shoulders as we got to about P3 to P4. So again, we were talking about the left knee and the knees in general and how they link to the tilts in the hips and the tilts in the shoulders and your ability to make a centered turn. So first thing we did, we had to do this little exercise where initially the club's across the shoulder and you're going to turn. You're trying to keep the left knee where it is in this instance. And you see when you do that, straight away you move off the ball. Forward bend's being maintained. Right hip lower than the left. The next feeling was to try and make a turn but feel like the butt of the grip, so this point here, went straight down to the golf ball. And when we did this, we stayed centered. The left knee flexes downwards and inwards. And that allows you to get the hips on a slightly better angle and certainly stay much more centered on the golf ball than we see up at the top of your screen here. We use the analogy of the Wii Fit board and visualizing that red dot in the lead leg at setup and staying in that lead leg during the backswing. You can see that left knee now flexing much more than it was before, and you can see a stark contrast between the top of the backswing midway through your session and the top of your backswing at the start of the session. Centre of the shoulder turn to centre of the hips. Centre of the shoulder turn to centre of the hips. So there's more side bending to the left midway through the session than there was at the start, and you've used the knees to police that. You've extended the pelvis much more and in turn freed up the thoracic. Then the key part to work on was what we did from the top. We didn't really get the arms moving soon enough. We were lowering the butt of the club by dropping the right shoulder down. And as a result, we were flipping at it through impact. So what we discussed was the feeling that the whole unit of the arms moved down sooner. Straightening that right arm out more, tightening up P6, getting the arms to move down at the same rate at which the body's moving forward. And the drill was to get that club dropping down a couple of times just to get the feel of the arms moving a little bit sooner in the downswing rather than hanging onto it. And then the next time you take it up to the top, let it rip and hit the shot. Coming into the golf ball at that point, the handle of the club is more advanced, the shaft lean is more substantial, and that got steadily better throughout the course of the session. We then discussed that element of extension and how you keep the arms too straight for too long. You're putting a little bit of strain on your body when you're doing that. And there's very little recocking and absorbing of the speed through impact, causing the arms to get flung off the rib cage from sort of P8 to P9. So we just discussed the recocking, and on this one here now, you make a much better move through the ball, recocking the wrists, absorbing the speed of the golf club, and keeping the arms on the torso. The final thing we discussed was driver. Now, one of the things I'd like you to do is up the ante in your practice with driver. You can see here that driver is very much how things were in your last session. And if we look at the pieces there, you maintain the flex in the right knee. If anything, the right knee flexes more during the takeaway. The shoulders are level. Accumulator 3 is rolling too much. Arms are lifting to the top. And then from there, we're stuck underneath it too much. Releasing the club quickly through impact, shifting the plane to the left. That basically is just a revisit of your last recap. So you can take a little look at that. And we did that towards the end of the session. You need to work on that last session much more with driver in your hand. If you can do this with driver, you can certainly do it with your irons. Good luck with it. Keep me posted, and I look forward to working with you again in the coming weeks. Well done.